Ottoman military bands are thought to be the oldest variety of military marching band in the world. Though they are often known by the Persian-derived word mehter, mehter in Ottoman Turkish, in the West, that word, properly speaking, refers only to a single musician in the band. In Ottoman, the band was generally known as mehterân, from the Persian plural mehterân, though those bands used in the retinue of a vizier or prince were generally known as mehterhane, meaning roughly, a gathering of mehters, from Persian house of the mehter. In modern Turkish, the band as a whole is often termed mehter bölüğü, mehter company, troop, mehter takım, mehter platoon. In the West, the band's music is also often called Janissary music because the Janissaries formed the core of the bands. It is believed that individual instrumentalists may have been mentioned in the 8th century Orkan inscriptions. Such military bands as the mehters, however, were not definitively mentioned until the 13th century. It is believed that the first mehter was sent to Osmanli by the Seljuk Sultan Alauddin Kikabad III as a present along with a letter that salutes the newly formed state. From then on, every day after the afternoon prayer, mehter played for the Ottoman ruler. The notion of a military marching band, such as those in use even today, began to be borrowed from the Ottoman Empire in the 16th century. The sound associated with the mehterân also exercised an influence on European classical music, with composers such as Joseph Haydn, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, and Ludwig van Beethoven all writing compositions inspired by or designed to imitate the music of the mehters. In 1826, the music of the mehters fell into disfavor following Sultan Mahmud II's abolition of the Janissary corps, who had formed the core of the bands. Subsequent to this, in the mid and late 19th century, the genre went into decline along with the Ottoman Empire. In 1911, as the empire was beginning to collapse, the director of Istanbul's military museum attempted a somewhat successful revival of the tradition, and by 1953, so as to celebrate the 500-year anniversary of the fall of Constantinople to the forces of Sultan Mehmed II, the tradition had been fully restored as a band of the Turkish armed forces. Today, the music of the mehters is largely ceremonial and considered by many Turks as a stirring example of heroism and a reminder of Turkey's historical past. Though the majority of the pieces performed by them are newer compositions. Today, mehter troop, mehter bölüğü, is the band of the Turkish armed forces and it performs at the Military Museum, Askeri Muse, in Istanbul. See also, the Ministry of Culture Istanbul Historical Music Ensemble. Structure. The standard instruments employed by a mehterân are the kos, a giant timpani, the nakher, a small kettle drum, the devil, a bass drum, the zil, cymbals, the kabazana, a bass variety of the zana, the bölüğü, a kind of trumpet, and the sevcan, a kind of stick bearing small concealed bells. The different varieties of bands are classed according to the number of instruments and musicians employed, either 6-layered, alt-katl, 7-layered, yedi-katl, or 9-layered, dokuz-katl. In the early 19th century the vizier's personal band included 9 each of drums and fifes, 7 trumpets and 4 cymbals. The costumes worn by the mehterân, despite wide variance in color and style, are always very colorful, often including high-ribbed hats which are flared at the top and long robes wrapped in colorful silks. Mehterân usually play classical Turkish music such as besrav, semai, naks, sanjihabi, murabba and kalendari. Most of the music played by mehterân is Turkish folk music with heroic themes from the Ottoman frontiers. Melodies and lyrics are written in mehterhane, the house of mehter. The Ottoman military band, mehter, still plays at special occasions in Turkey. The band also plays every day at 1500 hours during summer months in Habaya, Istanbul. During winter months, tickets are being sold for the indoor concerts. The largest event takes place on May 29 when celebrating the conquest of Istanbul.